What if I told you that one of the strangest cars on the road today wasn't an accident, but a calculated risk? Because the Volkswagen T-Roc Cabrio didn't just happen. It wasn't a random idea, and it definitely wasn't something engineers built for fun on a Friday afternoon. This car exists because Volkswagen believed there was a gap in the market, a space where no one else was even looking. And that's what makes it so fascinating. Think about it for a second. Convertibles have been disappearing for years. Automakers have been quietly killing them off, replacing them with SUVs, crossovers, and practical daily drivers. People stopped asking for open-top cars, and brands responded by focusing on what sells: safe, predictable, practical vehicles. So instead of fighting the trend, Volkswagen did something unexpected. They combined both worlds. Instead of building another boring crossover, they asked a strange question. What if the future of convertibles isn't sports cars, but SUVs? And that's exactly where the T-Roc Cabrio was born, not as a compromise, but as an experiment. But here's where things get interesting. This wasn't Volkswagen's first attempt at something like this. Years ago, they had the Beetle Cabrio, a car built purely around fun, emotion, and lifestyle. It had personality, it had charm, but it didn't fit into the modern SUV-driven market anymore. So instead of abandoning the idea of fun cars completely, Volkswagen evolved it. They took that same emotional DNA and injected it into something people actually buy today: crossovers. And just like that, the T-Roc Cabrio became something completely new. At first glance, it might look like a normal T-Roc with the roof missing. But the reality is much more complex. Removing the roof from a car changes everything. It affects the structure, the safety, the weight, and even the way the car feels when you drive it. Engineers had to completely rethink how the chassis works, reinforcing key areas to prevent the body from flexing. That's why the T-Roc Cabrio is heavier than you'd expect. And that extra weight, you feel it. Not in a bad way, but in a way that reminds you this car isn't trying to be a lightweight sports machine. It's trying to be something else entirely, and that something else becomes clear the moment you actually drive it. You sit higher than in a traditional convertible. You don't feel low to the ground like in a sports car. Instead, you get this elevated perspective, almost like you're observing the road rather than being glued to it. It's a completely different kind of open-air experience, less aggressive, more relaxed. It's not about chasing corners, it's about cruising. And that's where the T-Roc Cabrio starts to make sense. Because suddenly, it's not trying to compete with fast convertibles. It's not trying to be the most practical SUV either. It's sitting right in the middle, creating its own category, even if that category only has one car in it. But not everyone was convinced. When the T-Roc Cabrio was first revealed, reactions were all over the place. Some people immediately loved it. They saw it as fresh, different, and exactly what the car market needed. Something that breaks the monotony of identical SUVs. Others, they didn't get it at all. To them, it looked like a confused idea, an SUV that lost its roof, a car trying to be two things at once and not fully succeeding at either. And that criticism didn't just come from random people online, even car enthusiasts were divided. And honestly, they had a point, because when you try to combine two completely different concepts, you always end up making compromises. The T-Roc Cabrio has only 2 doors. Rear space is limited, the boot is smaller, and the extra reinforcements add weight that affects performance. On paper, it doesn't sound like the smartest choice, but cars aren't always about logic. Sometimes they're about feeling, and this is where Volkswagen made a bold bet that there are still people out there who care more about how a car makes them feel than how perfectly it fits into a category. The soft top opens in seconds, and in that moment, everything changes. The car goes from being just another crossover to something that feels alive. The wind, the sound, the openness. It creates a connection that most modern SUVs completely lack, and suddenly those compromises start to matter a little less. Because this car isn't trying to win spec sheets, it's trying to win emotions. But here's the real question. Did Volkswagen take a genius risk? Or did they create a car that nobody really asked for? Because what happens next reveals whether the T-Roc Cabrio is a hidden success story or just a bold idea that came at the wrong time. So, was Volkswagen right? Did this bold experiment actually work in the real world? Or did it end up being one of those ideas that sounded better on paper? Because this is where things get a little unexpected. Despite all the doubts, the jokes, and the confusion when it first launched, the T-Roc Cabrio didn't just disappear. It didn't quietly fail and fade away like many niche cars do. Instead, it found something much more valuable than mass success. It found the right audience, and that audience is very specific. This isn't a car for someone who compares horsepower numbers or cares about lap times. It's not for someone looking for maximum cargo space or family practicality either. The people who buy this car are looking for something else entirely. Something emotional, something different, something that stands out without trying too hard. And that's exactly where the T-Roc Cabrio starts to shine. Owners often describe the same feeling. It's not about where you're going, it's about how you get there. A simple drive to the grocery store feels different when the roof is down. A short trip across the city suddenly feels like a mini escape. There's a sense of freedom that most modern cars just don't offer anymore. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. Far from it. Because once the excitement settles, reality kicks in. And this is where the compromises become more noticeable. The rear seats are tight, and not just slightly tight, genuinely uncomfortable for longer journeys. The boot space, while usable, reminds you that this isn't a practical SUV in the traditional sense. And then there's the driving experience. The extra weight from all the structural reinforcements is always there. You feel it when accelerating, you notice it in corners, and you understand very quickly that this car isn't built for aggressive driving. It's stable, it's safe, it's predictable, but it's not exciting in the way a true convertible sports car would be. And yet, people still choose it, which raises an even bigger question. Why? Why would someone knowingly accept these compromises when there are so many more logical options on the market? Because logic isn't always the deciding factor. In a world full of identical SUVs, same shapes, same features, same driving feel, the T-Roc Cabrio offers something rare: personality. It's not trying to blend in, it's not trying to please everyone, it's trying to create a feeling. And for the people who connect with that feeling, no spec sheet can replace it. There's also something interesting about its position in the market. Volkswagen didn't flood the world with this car. It remained relatively limited, especially compared to mainstream SUVs. And that scarcity, it actually worked in its favor. Because the T-Roc Cabrio became something you don't see every day, and in today's car culture, that matters more than ever. When everything looks the same, being different becomes valuable. But here's where things get even more interesting. The future of cars is changing rapidly. Electric vehicles are taking over, regulations are getting stricter, and niche cars like this are becoming harder to justify, which means the T-Roc Cabrio might be one of the last of its kind, a final attempt at blending fun and practicality before everything becomes fully optimized and standardized. And if that's true, then this car isn't just unusual. It's important, because it represents a moment in time when automakers were still willing to take risks, to experiment, to build something not because it made perfect sense, but because it made people feel something. So was it a success? That depends on how you define success. If success means dominating sales charts, then no, this isn't that kind of car. But if success means creating something memorable, something people talk about, something that stands out in a sea of sameness, then yes, absolutely. The T-Roc Cabrio succeeded in doing something most cars fail to do. It made people care. And in today's world, that might be the biggest win of all. If you've made it this far, you clearly enjoy discovering cars that break the rules and challenge expectations. So don't forget to subscribe. Seriously, this channel is all about exploring the most interesting, unusual, and conversation-starting cars out there. And trust me, we're just getting started. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Because if you thought the T-Roc Cabrio was unexpected, wait until you see the next cars we're about to dive into. At the end of the day, the Volkswagen T-Roc Cabrio isn't trying to be perfect, it's trying to be different. And whether you see it as a genius idea or a strange experiment, one thing is certain: you won't forget it.